Today we're going to discuss things that I've learned this year and in Supercoach, and every year I learn more stuff that I can apply to next year and makes me a better player, I'd like to think. This year we learned the hard way over a few things, so this is probably our third year taking Supercoach seriously, and yeah, I think definitely we can do a lot better, but a few things we can take into next year that we can speak about. The first one I want to speak about are the rookies. So, you know, what makes a really good rookie? And in previous years, I've always thought, go for the mature age players because, you know, they have a few extra years in the system, they're more ready. And maybe it's because it's how strong the drafts have been over the past 2 years, especially the high-end picks. Maybe this isn't always an overriding factor as to why you pick mature age players over other rookies. So, for example, in my starting team, I had Davis from the Crows and Kavara from the Dogs, and neither of them, both were dropped straight away. So, but alternatively, or I could have gone for Sturt and Georgiadis. Now, both Sturt and Georgiadis got injured, but they are clearly youth that needed to be persisted with. So, I think the main factor for me next year will be when picking rookies, is this player, you know, is this a talent that is going to be persisted with? So yeah, talent that's going to be persisted with. That's what I want to see in my rookies. So if they're a bit fringe and, you know, not really sure, they've been on the list a few years, they're probably going to be a bit iffy. So still look at the role, look at the opportunity. But I think, you know, job security is important. And if they're talented, they're probably going to have a good game every few games. They're rookies, they're going to be inconsistent, but that's definitely something I will look at, especially this year. There've never been so many rookie traps this year. And obviously this, you know, players, short turnaround in games, lots of players are getting played. But yeah, so, you know, look for the talent that's going to be persisted with. And, you know, being a few years in the system is always nice, but doesn't guarantee anything, which, yeah, I had to do a lot of rookie corrections this year. So, talent with opportunity that is going to be persisted with. Now, the second thing that I learned is I went over this in another video where I had a small meltdown when Max Gawn went 180, and I had the Frenchman Pitney score 30 in the same week. So the if picks, as I call them. So maybe I'm thinking, you know, when I look at my premiums, you know, in defense, it's not too hard to pick in defense, I think. Maybe you have to pay a bit overs, but, you know, the obvious ones, Lloyd, Sicily. Laird is thereabouts, dropped off a little bit, but still, you know, plays every game, just above 90 average, so it's not the worst. But yeah, these picks, you know, the downside to these picks are, they might be overs at the start of the year, but the downside is very minimal. Whereas in the forward line, there are traps potentially everywhere because a lot of these players might be potentially moving into the midfield. You know, Segler this year, ruck forward, got more ruck opportunity for a while. But I look at these picks and I'm thinking, well, look at John Segler, for example. Is he guaranteed to play the ruck all year? No. So that pick failed, and yeah, it happened right. He moved into the ruck. No, he shared the ruck about round 6 or 7, right when upgrade season started. So that stuffed my whole plans for the year. It's negative 50 points every week because I'm behind on upgrades. Disaster pick. Whereas if I paid up for a more bulletproof pick, it would not have happened. So forward line is pretty hard to pick, but you look at this year, for example, Brayshaw and Greenwood. Brayshaw is pretty much going to be the number 2 midfielder to Nat Fyfe. Obviously, Walters is there. He's 50-50 forward mid. But yeah, Brayshaw, he pretty much had the midfield to himself. Hugh Greenwood as well. Probably when he went to Gold Coast, you know, at the Crows, I had a good read on this. The Crows midfield, the narrative is, you know, crouch, Sloan. It's too slow. You put Greenwood in there, it's even slower. So yeah, going to Gold Coast, he was probably just going to play midfield. That's probably one of the reasons why he went there. But yeah, both of them, they barely have left the midfield. Brayshaw early on, I think he had some injury niggles. That's why he wasn't playing mid. I think, I'm not sure, but now they're not going anywhere from the midfield, you'd think. So yeah, should have picked Brayshaw Greenwood based on that. Then there's Bailey Smith. I didn't pick Bailey Smith in round 1 because his centre bounces were a bit iffy in the preseason, but all of a sudden he started playing good, and they stuck him in the middle for the first half of the year, and then things happened. Dunkley got injured, Liver started playing well. Now he's cut back on CBAs. Bit of a problem, so for his price, probably worth the risk, but you never know with Bevo, he might move in. So you can only select so many of those players. I picked too many, and I also picked Tom Lynch. Don't pick key forwards ever, even if they're potentially underpriced. I think people have always said that, but I thought because of the price, it was worth it. No key forwards. The players you want: defenders, midfielders, rucks. End of story. So yeah, these if picks. Yeah, if they don't work out, then you just have to trade them. Then you get behind, and it's probably worth just paying up early in the season. So what have I got written here? Yeah, maybe another thing that I learned, maybe saving money in your starting team isn't as important. It is important to find some value, but if one of your value picks fails, then that's a trade. So might as well pay up and save a trade later, rather than saving money but trading later, if that makes sense. If it comes off, it's great, you're ahead of everyone, but they're very difficult to pick, and you can always jump on early if it suits. So, for example, Petrarca, I had to jump on him pretty early, but another one, they said he's a midfielder pre-season. They said his consistency's improved dramatically at training. So that was an obvious one, but didn't start him, but got him in early. So yeah, I think that's what I learned. So to recap, the rookies that you pick the players with, the talent that's going to be persisted with. Don't blindly just lock in mature ages like I have in the past. For your starting team, less risks. Not, pick midfielders, pick defenders, pick ruckman. They need to be bulletproof pick. Pick as many bulletproof picks if you can, even if you have to pay a bit extra. So don't have to trade later down the track. And yeah, pay up at the start of the year, so you don't pay for it after when you pick too many value picks. Hopefully this video is helpful. It'll be helpful to me. But yeah, definitely it will affect how I pick my starting team next year. And yeah, should be good. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.